Good evening, everyone. And what we're going to look at today, and I hope all of you can see this, is everything you want to know about Stayman. Well, almost everything, I hope. If there are things I haven't covered at the end, you can ask me. But in particular, I want to look at when is 2 clubs or 3 clubs Stayman, responding when you've got 4-4 or 4-5 distribution, and talk about different kinds of strengths you can have to respond, strong, invitational, or weak responses. And first thing I want to talk about is situations where 2 clubs or 3 clubs is Stayman. And the first 2 I'm sure you're familiar with. 1 no trump, direct response of 2 clubs is Stayman, saying, do you have a 4-card major? Or 3 clubs in response to an opening bid of 2 no trump. And then the third one, which is perhaps one you might have forgotten about, is if you open 2 clubs and then rebid 2 no trump over your partner's 2 diamonds, that shows a balanced hand with 23 or 24 points. And I recommend that you also play Stayman in that situation. 3 clubs is asking if you have a 4-card major. And then there are a couple of other situations where I recommend you use Stayman, and that is when the no trump bid is an overcall. So if it's gone 1 diamond, 1 no trump, the 1 no trump overcall typically shows around 15 to 17. Some people play 16 to 18 with a good diamond stopper. And if in response to that no trump, South can bid 2 clubs, also asking, do you have a 4-card major? You'll presumably end up, if you do in the major, if you have a major foot, or otherwise you might end up in 3 no trump. And similarly, if they open a weak 2, a 2 no trump as an overcall, that is normally something like 16 to 19 points. And I recommend that you play Stayman in that situation as well. So it's basically whenever no trump is bid as a natural bid or as an overcall, and you haven't, no other suit has been bid by your side, I recommend you keep 2 clubs and 3 clubs as Stayman in that situation. So those are the 5 times that you should be using Stayman. Okay, obviously you don't have to do that, and if you think that's too much to remember, then just keep it to the first 2 or 3. But it's useful to use Stayman in response to an overcall, because obviously if you've got an 8-card fit in a major, you will find it that way. Otherwise it's quite hard to find. And by the way, I also recommend that if you play transfers, which most of you do, you should also use transfers in the same 5 situations in response to no trump as an opening bid or as an overcall. I recommend you use transfers in the same situations. Do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on that. So let's just look at the normal uses of Stayman that we're familiar with, I hope. So West here, if they open 1 no trump, East, you've got 13 points, so it should be enough for game, but you have at least 1 4-card major, so it's normal in that situation to bid Stayman. And if your partner here has no 4-card major, they bid 2 diamonds, and you would just jump to 3 no trump. Or you could use it with a slightly weaker hand. Here you've got 11 points, and you might want to invite game. You can bid Stayman. If your partner here bids 2 diamonds, you will then invite game by bidding 2 no trump. And here West is a minimum, so should probably pass, and you'll end up in just 2 no trump. So that's Stayman with at least 1 4-card major and either a strong or an invitational hand. Sometimes, of course, you will find a fit when you bid Stayman. So here's one where, in response to 1 no trump, East, I think, should just use Stayman. Don't worry about trying to find a diamond suit fit. You really don't want to play in diamonds. and I would just bid 2 clubs. And if your partner bids 2 spades, of course, you'll go to 4 spades there. So that's an example where you find a fit. How about this one? Here you open 1 no trump. Your partner bids 2 clubs as Stayman, and you've actually got both majors here. And different people play different systems here, but the most common one is if you have 4 hearts and 4 spades, is to bid the hearts, to respond 2 hearts with that one. Now, suppose you do bid 2 hearts and your partner now bids 2 no trump. What do you think West should bid here? And I've got a poll coming up in a moment. You've opened 1 no trump, your partner bid 2 clubs, you showed the heart suit, and they now bid 2 no trump. And the poll question is, what do you think West should bid now? So have a little think, and I'm going to launch the poll in a moment. And the question is, what should West bid in response to 2 no trump? Let me end the poll there. Nearly everyone has answered. And I'm going to share the results with you. And most of you here went for 3 spades, 52%. 41% said 4 spades, and 7% said 3 no trump. Well, let's switch back to this and let's decide what the right thing is. Well, your partner bid 2 clubs, and when you bid 2 hearts, they bid 2 no trump. So they don't have a fit in hearts, but they should not really be using Stayman unless they have a fit in a 4-card major. So if it's not hearts, it must be spades. And they've decided to invite game, but they have something like 11 or 12 points. So you should accept the invitation, and you should trust your partner that they've got a 4-card spade suit, and you should bid 4 spades there. So yes, I think 4 spades is the right bid there. 3 spades would be kind of saying, well, I don't accept your invitation, but I do have 4 spades. So maybe a hand with 4 spades, but maybe only 12 points. So yes, if you trust your partner, you should bid 4 spades there, and your partner will have a fit for you in spades. Okay.
Don't go along with that, Tony.
Sorry?
Sorry, don't go along with that.
Go ahead then. Tell me why not.
Because you don't know how many points the Stayman caller has.
Okay.
And I look upon a 3 spade call as being either leave it or invitational.
Right. So that 2 no trump shows an invitational hand with 11 or 12 points. Okay. So that is what that shows, and that's why West should go to game with that one. If you think that 2 no trump shows something else.
No, I agree with you that it shows 4 spades.
And it shows 11 or 12 points.
No. Why does it show 11 or 12?
Because that's what it is. It's an invitational bid. It's a bit like if you respond 2 no trump to 1 no trump, you're inviting game. That's what that bid shows.
I see. You're saying that West can't also invite.
No, I mean, basically, East has invited and West has accepted.
Okay, well, I'll look upon that as a lone voice, Tony. I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're obviously not a lone voice, because a lot of people thought it was 3 spades, but really, I think it makes sense for that for you to bid 4 spades then, because a 2 no trump has to be inviting game. Okay, we'll look at how East would bid in a moment if they had a weaker hand, but that 2 no trump is invitational with 11 or 12 points.
Tony, can I ask something?
Yes, Francis.
This is something I get confused about, because I feel that if I go 3 spades, I'm giving my partner the opportunity to go 4 spades or 3 no trumps.
Right, but generally speaking, if you found an 8-card fit in a major suit,
Yeah.
you should be playing in the major
Yeah.
suit.
Okay. Thank you.
So, you know, that's why this hand should bid for spades. Okay, let's have a look at some other situations. Thank you all for the comments and questions. I mean, I suppose it is possible to play that differently, but I think what I'm teaching you is considered fairly standard. Do not use Stayman if you just have one 5-card major. This is a mistake I see again and again. Over 1 no trump, East bids 2 clubs with a hand like this. And you don't really want to find out if your partner's got a 4-card major for you, because if they do bid their 4-card major, 2 hearts, well, what do you bid now? On this particular occasion, you could probably get away with bidding 3 spades, and hopefully your partner will get the message that you've got 5 spades and will go to 4 spades on this one. But if it's a different bidding sequence, suppose it goes 2 no trump and you wrongly bid 3 clubs with that East hand, what do you bid now when your partner bids 3 spades? You don't know whether you've got a fit in hearts or not. Your partner might just have a doubleton and you might have a 7-card fit. So you don't really know whether to bid 3 no trump or try 4 hearts without being certain that you've got a heart fit. So that is the wrong bid. The 3-club bid with the 5-card major there is wrong. I think looking at the 2 hands, you'll probably be better off playing in 4 hearts here, but because you started out with Stayman wrongly, you may not be able to find your end up playing in 4 hearts. You might play in 3 no trump, which may not do so well. Okay, do interrupt me if you have any comments or questions on that. How should you have bid that hand? Well, if you're not playing transfers and your partner bids 1 no trump, you jump to 3 spades to show a 5-card major, and your partner will either will either go to 3 no trump if they have just 2 cards in the suit, or if they have 3 or more spades for you, they will go to 4 spades. Okay, and if you're playing transfers, you would bid it as follows. You would bid 2 hearts, your partner would respond to spades, and I've got the second and final poll of the evening. If you're playing transfers in this situation, what should East bid now? It's gone 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades. What should East bid now? We share the results with you. And the majority here have gone for 3 no trump, 52%, but a lot of you have gone for other things like 4 spades, 36%, and others went for 2 no trump or 3 spades. Well, what is correct? Well, I'm glad to say that the majority of you are correct. You have 14 points, so you should have enough points for game. You have a 5-card spade suit, so you show that exact combination by rebidding 3 no trump. And those, other than the 52% of you who said 3 no trump, really need to study your use of transfers. I've come across this a lot, even including people who say they've been playing transfers for years and they don't play them correctly. East shows a 5-card spade suit with enough points for game by rebidding 3 no trump, and now they're giving their partner a choice. If West had only 2 spades, they would pass, but here with 3 spades, they go to 4 spades, and you'll end up in the same contract as you would not playing transfers. Okay, the only difference is declarer will be different on this one. So if you didn't get that one right, do have a look at transfers again. Those of you who bid, for example, 2 no trump, that's wrong, not because that's invitational, that could be passed. And those of you who bid 3 spades are wrong, because that should show a 6-card suit with invitational values. And 4 spades is wrong, because that would show a 6-card spade suit. Okay, so 3 no trump is the right bid there, and you'll end up in 4 spades anyway.
Tony,
Hello, Francis.
I'm going to ask another question.
Go
And I
ahead.
know it's wrong because you've just said I would show 6. But to me, if I've got 5 spades, I know that my partner has at least 2, which makes 7.
Right.
Why can't I go to 4 spades?
Well, because generally speaking, if you only have 7 trumps,
Yes.
you're probably better off playing in no trump than in your suit.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure I could come up with some hands where that's not the case.
No, okay.
Where even with
Yeah.
7 trumps, you know, you happen to do better than you would in no trump.
Mm.
But generally speaking, if you have an 8-card fit or better, you should be looking for game in the major. If you don't, if it's only 7 cards, you're generally better off in no trump.
Tony,
So, yes.
have you got anywhere a podcast or something to tell us that? You know, because I didn't know that I'm showing 6 spades if I go to 4 spades.
Okay, let me see if I can find it, and I'll send it out in the
thank you very much.
email. But I do have, I'm sure there's some, I know there is something. I've done this topic a number of times, so I'm sure I'll find something on it.
Yes,
Tony,
because I find those things confusing. Yeah.
Yes.
Tony,
Hello, Roz.
does that actually make in 4 spades though? It's got a lot of losers there.
So I didn't really think about it too much, but I believe it does. Just out of interest, let's see. So looking at it from East's point of view, we're going to lose a spade, and we might lose and we're also going to lose a diamond, and we're in danger of losing 2 clubs. So we have 4 potential losers, but I think we have a chance to discard one of those losers on the heart if we get a chance. Okay, so it may depend on the lead. Let's suppose they lead what? A club might be the worst lead. We can win the club and then start drawing trumps. They can get back in and can cash 2 clubs, but that would be it. If they then play a diamond, we could win the diamond, finish drawing trumps, and I think we'll be able to cash 4 hearts, and we'll be able to discard a diamond on that. So I think it will make 4 spades, as it turns out. Barring horrible distributions. I don't know if you can follow that, but I think it does make.
So Tony, if you had one 5-card major and the other one 4-card major, would you do transfer first, or would you straight go to Stayman?
Let's have a look at that. I'm going to cover that in a minute.
Okay.
In fact, here it comes. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about different possibilities here where you can use Stayman. So on a hand like this, you've got a 5-card spade suit and a 4-card heart suit. There are different ways you can bid this, but I'll talk about using Stayman. And if you use Stayman on this hand, you could bid 2 clubs, and if your partner bids either major, you would jump to game in the major. If, on the other hand, your partner, this is the same hand, bids 2 diamonds, then you would jump to 3 spades. So that would hopefully get the message across your partner that you had 4 hearts, you didn't find a fit there, but you bid the spades now to show 5 spades. And on this particular layout, West doesn't have support for you in either major, so would go to 3 no trump. So that's one way you could bid this. And you could also bid this, this is the exact same hand, but this is how you could bid it if you are playing transfers. So you could bid 2 hearts as a transfer to spades, and then you could bid your heart suit. Then you would bid 3 hearts, and here, so that 3 heart bid is then promising 4 hearts in addition to the 5 spades you promised. And if your partner can't support either of those, they would just go to 3 no trump. So you can bid these hands either way. And because when you're playing transfers, it gives you 2 ways of bidding the same hand, the way it's normally played is that the transfer sequence is used as a game forcing bid, whereas the Stayman sequence is used as an invitational bid. In other words, if you're playing transfers, you would use the bottom sequence, and you would save the top sequence of bidding 3 spades for a slightly weaker hand where you just wanted to invite game. So it's slightly complicated, but if you're not playing transfers, then you would bid it as shown in the top half of the screen, and then that 3 spade bid should be treated as forcing. But if you're playing transfers and you bid this, then the 3 spade bid would be used with a slightly weaker hand and is not absolutely forcing to game.
Thank you.
So you can do it either way. Okay.
So if you can use Stayman even with weaker points, how weak should you be before you go into Stayman?
Well, okay. So in this example, in these situations where you're inviting game, you should have 11 or 12 points to invite opposite a 1-no trump hand. But you can, as I'll see in a minute, also use Stayman with weak hands, and I'll just cover that topic as well.
Okay.
But before we do that, I think the next topic is, when is 2 clubs not Stayman? And here's one example where most people play that it is not Stayman. If the 1-no trump is doubled, most people will either play that 2 clubs becomes natural or is part of another defense, for example, the Halmic defense that I recommend. So 2 clubs there would be the lower ranking of 2 4-card suits if you're playing Halmic. That's not universal, of course, and some people do like to play what they call systems on over a double. And if you want to do that, you can, and you could use this as Stayman, but more commonly it's not Stayman, and it would have another meaning. And another time, of course, 2 clubs is not Stayman is in some kind of other bidding sequence. So if it's gone 1 diamond, 1 heart, 1 no trump, 2 clubs is a natural bid, playing normally, and it's not Stayman. Although there is a convention called something called checkback Stayman. It's not like normal Stayman, and I don't even really want to go into it here, but it is a way of using 2 clubs as an artificial bid, as a sort of which allows you to find a major suit fit in some situations. So, but if you're not doing that, if you haven't agreed to play that convention, then 2 clubs here is just natural. It's just showing a real suit. It's not Stayman. Okay. And then, as I think Lalta was asking, there are situations where you can use Stayman with a weak hand, where you have no intention of being in game. And here is one where you respond, your partner opens 1 no trump, you've got a terribly weak hand, but you can use Stayman here, planning to pass if your partner bids 2 hearts or 2 spades. And if they don't, if they bid 2 diamonds, then you would bid 2 spades, okay? And that should get across to your partner that you are weak, but you have 5 spades, and you would have had to have had 4 hearts here to bid like this. So the advantage of this, of bidding like this, rather than just signing off in 2 spades, is it gives you 2 chances to find a fit. You'll find a fit in hearts if you have one, and if you don't, you'll sign off in 2 spades. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
And then just to complete this talk, there are 2 other situations where you can use Stayman with a weak hand, and I hope you're familiar with these. One is where you are short in clubs and you have at least and you've got something like 4-4-4 distribution or 4-4-5 distribution. You can bid 2 clubs here and you will pass whatever your partner responds, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, or 2 spades. You pass that. And then the other time you can use it with a weak hand is where you've got exactly the opposite, if you see what I mean. You've got a long club suit and not much else. And you can sign off in, you can't sign off in 2 clubs, of course, but this is a way playing Stayman that you can sign off in 3 clubs. You bid 2 clubs, and then whatever your partner responds, you would bid 3 clubs here. So that is another time you can use Stayman. Those of you who play transfers may have another way of signing off in 3 of a minor, and that's fine too. So, but those are the ways of playing Stayman with a weak hand. Okay, I think that's it. Does anyone have any other comments or questions on that? Okay, great. I'm going to stop sharing there, and